There's
Ugh.
a lot of chocolate buildup on the bottom of my cup. And I'm very disappointed in that because I want the chocolate to be integrated into the water that I'm drinking. Instead of just sitting in the bottom of the cup, it's gonna be wasted.
It's it's a sad time.
I wanna be chocolate boy too.
Shut the fuck
I
up.
hate that movie so much. I hate
Okay.
all Adam Sandler movies.
Not all of them are bad.
They're all bad.
No. No, 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 no.
Which one's good?
Happy Gilmore is fine.
Is that the one where he's retarded? Which one's the one where he's retarded?
It's like some football one.
Hmm. What's Happy Gilmore about?
Like about golf. Like
Did I
him.
just think he was retarded just because?
No, there is a football movie where he acts
I
like
don't
an
know, because I
autistic
remember a
person.
golf one that I was like, oh, it's a retarded guy playing golf.
No, he's not retarded. He's like white trash.
I think I thought he was retarded.
Well, that's on you for being a horrible person.
I
'Cause
think
he's
that was
not.
my initial reaction to Adam Sandler. I was like, he's probably a little bit disabled, isn't he?
He has some good movies. The one where it's like him and that uh woman with the
51st Dates
is that what it is?
with the Alzheimer's and she wakes up every day and doesn't know who the
Yeah.
fuck he is. Yeah.
Like a sweet little story.
I think it's kind of weird.
Well, yeah, it's a fucking yeah, whatever.
I
He's
would not. Dude, I swear, if I woke up one day and Adam Sandler was like, "Yeah, we've been married for years," I would kill myself. I honestly, I'd be like, "What?"
we haven't even started and you're already dropping in some gems in here. I wanted to talk about how we've been surviving the cold and
Dude, I really need to know what Happy Gilmore's about. Like, what about golfing?
it's him and maybe Morgan Freeman. I don't know, some black guy who teaches him how to golf so he can make money for his mom who's in like a retirement home.
Oh, yeah, okay.
The
Yeah,
black guy loses his hand to a gator.
I I think that's why I
Hey,
thought he was retarded because he needed somebody to be like, "Hey, you need to do this thing."
in the later of his filmography, it's mostly him just being like, I just want to go to Hawaii with my friends and get paid.
Oh yeah.
So yeah, that's
But
that's
the ones where it's like kind of serious, I can't take it seriously. Cuz I just
yeah.
I see him and it's just like he's to me he's not really that good of an actor. Like he doesn't convince me enough that he's emotional. You know what I mean? So like stuff like that where, with the wife and like, having to re-jog her memory, I just don't see it. I don't
Jackie,
think he actually
get the fuck
cares.
down.
Like to me it seems like the relationship isn't really working out because Adam Sandler isn't acting the way that a loving husband would. In my opinion.
In your opinion,
Yeah. I just don't like him.
Jackie.
Dude, they're hyper because we've had them locked in the room for what, 5 days?
God, she fucked up the fucking PS2. Now I gotta go get up. Bitch. It fixed itself good.
How did she fuck it up?
She hit the eject button, but her fat ass
Oh.
closed it at the same time, so it was just kind of like, what?
Jackie, I know you're happy that you're outside of the bedroom, but you need to chill. Look at me. With your chubby cheeks.
the Miss Chubb.
You can talk about how we've been surviving now. I was just
Okay,
I
yeah.
needed to talk about Adam's.
What do we call her audience? We found out in Sims
um
or Herbs. Fat cats.
I was gonna say the Crashers. I don't know.
Ew.
I don't know. I forgot.
Welcome back, Jake Paulers, to
No.
another episode of Buffy. This is gonna be so fucking far in advance. It's gonna be like fucking March when this gets uploaded. But it is February 17th, and we are currently going through the Texas ice age that's going on right now, and it fucking sucks. Uh,
My piss and poop has been collected in the toilet for 5 days. Frozen. Have you ever seen a pea slushy? I have.
so yeah, our house has been. We live on a lake, and it's like barely a house. It's like
It's
it.
toothpicks.
It's a paper thin no insulation house with
It's very crack den.
hardly we have electricity
We should
enough to run
dude,
through the house.
we should've been cooking meth in here. We'd be rich by now.
That's what the owners before us were doing.
Wasn't it weed?
Yeah, but I
Both?
was just making a
It was
joke.
both.
No, but we did find crack in the house. That was for my mom.
That was your
I should I hope to God I remember to bleep this out. Anyway, the house we live in is paper thin, really bad, horrible little den. We've been hibernating in our bedroom with like 7 blankets and the shittiest heater on the planet.
That's
And
pretty good. It's just that Tulip knocked it over and broke a little piece of the rod.
oh yeah, so
So,
yeah, Tulip kind of broke the heater, so it's kind of like at 50% capacity now.
yeah.
So we're just kind of we're barely making it through, but we decided that we're very bored. This is like day 4 or 5 of us being in the
Mhm.
house, not doing a thing but looking at our phones and watching Godzilla movies. We did watch Parasite, which I want to talk about that.
Oh, that movie's so good.
That was a great
I
movie.
can't get over it yet.
Um, so yeah, just this is we're recording and I can see my breath as I talk and I just had hot chocolate and toast because everything else is not
But
working in the house.
see, today is actually not as cold as it used to be, like
No,
yesterday and the day before, because
yeah.
it literally just like anything standing in the living room would
Yes.
freeze,
Yeah.
completely turn to ice.
It's still happening, but it's
Snow has
not.
not melted. Snow from the outside has not melted inside. There's
Yes.
snow in our office.
There is a hole in the wall in our office that we tried to duct tape because it's not one of those things that you can fix with like plaster and drywall. It's made for air conditioning, but since the air conditioning units are so badly made, uh we
The
tried to
windows are
duct
pretty
tape.
badly too.
Yeah, windows are pretty bad too, but we tried to duct tape the air conditioning and snow got in anyway. And yeah, we're just kind of
But my pee hasn't frozen from earlier today.
well, that's because it's been in your body all day.
No, in the toilet.
Yeah.
Listen, I understand that pee comes out hot, but
How
that thing would freeze overnight.
how quickly do you
You have not looked
when
into
was
the
when
toilet.
did you last pee?
It was like earlier, like around 1.
Today?
Yeah. And it's not frozen.
Give it like tomorrow and
Well,
it will be
yeah,
frozen.
maybe.
Maybe.
But listen, like
Oh
yesterday
my
and the day
god.
before and like all of that, all my pee would just freeze in like 5 minutes.
I believe you
So that
because it was negatives.
what I'm saying is that it's not as bad today.
Yeah, because we're in the mid to high 20s right now,
Yeah.
which we live in Breckenridge, which is a shit ass town. We ran out of power pretty early on, but it came back and it's been back for a while, so thank fucking Christ for that. Fuck Greg Abbott and the electric company. I forget
It
the name of
honestly
it.
makes me feel like such a shit person knowing that we have power and a lot of people do not.
Yep.
Like
Well,
I'm not saying that we don't need it because we do need it, but other people also need it. You
no,
know what I
yeah.
mean?
If
Like
I
it just it makes me feel like a shitty person for being like, "Well, I have heat
here's
and
here's
warmth
the
in my
thing.
bed."
We're so selfless about shit that literally if we didn't have power since say Saturday, we would have died cuz we can't leave. Like our
Yeah.
driveway is I tried to take Allie to work and we got in a crash. We were there for like 3 hours. I got frostbite. Almost died out there.
Dude,
We come home.
I saw you walk out of the house in those slippers and I was like, should I tell him not to do that or should I just
All
let him
right,
do what
well,
he's gonna
listen.
do?
Listen, this is going on for a while. This is basically a podcast at this point.
True. True.
um,
It's just
I'm gonna start the game.
if you start the game, we're gonna get distracted with story and not actually talk about what's happening right now.
Well, we'll
Just do like a
navigate.
mini podcast. Just do like one mini podcast episode and then we start Buffy.
Okay.
You know what I mean?
A test podcast. How long
Yeah.
was that?
It's probably like 5 minutes.
10 minutes.
10
Yeah.
minutes already.
So like a little mini bit.
Yeah, we can just like
I'll put a little thing saying people
should
can skip
I'll
for
like do
gameplay.
some artwork or something for this. No, like make them separate little
Separate
episodes. Yeah.
episodes? Sure.
Just like one mini podcast to explain what the fuck's happening.
Okay,
Even
so
though it's not that important, it's just something that like it feels like we need to talk about it.
okay, yeah. Uh last time on Buffy, I've been editing so fucking much that the last thing I remember is getting Cassandra's
Or are we gonna
eyes.
just stop talking about what's going on?
Well, no, because we're starting the game. So
No,
I'm talking about the
that's what I'm
game.
saying, Down. We don't play the game yet because we haven't finished what we're talking
Do you
about.
want to keep doing the podcast?
That's what I'm
Oh,
saying, bro.
okay.
I thought we were on the same page here.
We're very much not ready.
That's what I mean. We finished what we were saying, and then we started the episode of Buffy.
Okay, let me mute Buffy real quick
Yeah.
and pause the recording.
Your
of the
slippers,
game.
dude. What I was gonna say about the slippers. You're gonna pause of the video.
Yeah.
Okay. Um I listen, I have this thing where I see you doing things and I want to comment on it and I want to be like, is that really a good idea, sir? But every time that I have, you get so offended. And you're don't tell me what to do. I know what I'm doing. And it's like, okay.
Name
So
5 times I have said those exact words.
no, not those exact words. That's just the attitude that you give me. Is
Right.
that. That's
Okay.
the vibe that I'm getting off of you. So I'm like, okay, I will back off and let you do what you're gonna do. So there are plenty of times where I see you doing things that I'm just like, I'm not gonna say anything about that. I'll just let him do what he's gonna do.
Listen.
And sometimes you're right. That's why I don't say anything. Because sometimes it's like, okay, I didn't have to say anything because he did know what he was doing. But slippers in snow, and I was like,
Listen. I just bought these slippers. They keep my feet so warm. And the reason I got frostbite in them that one time was because I was literally knee deep in snow trying to dig us out
That's
of
why I
the
didn't say
ditch.
anything because I wasn't expecting to be in snow. So I was like, oh, well, he's just gonna drop me off and then come back home. It's
Exactly.
whatever.
That's exactly what I thought was gonna
I know,
happen.
but
That's
in the
not
back
what
of my head,
happened.
I was like, that's probably not a good idea. It's just not a good idea.
I
I
was
didn't
so
know why.
confident. I was so confident in my driving ability because I've driven in snow. I've driven in cities with horrible, horrible snow. Like Levelland had horrible snow. I knew what I was doing to an extent, and we've driven in snow here. Today was probably the worst it's ever been.
Yeah.
Where trying to take a turn and I'm going like 5 miles an hour, and the car goes nope.
I again, what I just said about like I keep my mouth shut and stuff like that. I did that twice that day with slippers, and then when you were gonna take that turn, because that turn is horrible. That turn is like the worst fucking turn. Every time that you turn there, I'm like, fuck, we're gonna die. Like every single time, I feel like we're just gonna slip off and crash into something. And since it was snowy, I was like, this is it. We're gonna slip off and crash into something. But I was so confident at the fact that you were not gonna do that. And I was like, just don't say anything. It's not gonna happen. And then
Yeah, we hit it,
fucking mirror breaks.
smashed a tree. Our side mirror broke. I don't think it's broken though. I think it can just
You can
pop
probably,
back into
yeah.
place. But and then we went right into a ditch in the side of the road into one of the houses by the road, and then we landed on top of a log that was on top of another log. So we were suspended in the air, and
After I decided to keep my mouth shut on that one and then it happened, I saw the log in front of us and I was like, be careful with that log. And you drove right on top of the log.
it's not like I can just do like a little
I know.
maneuver.
I just it just made me laugh because it was like the one time that I said something.
We were literally in a ditch, so
Yeah.
like to get out was a steep hill on the left of us. And then we have, after like 2 hours of me in the snow lifting the car with a crank jack that broke on me. I kick the I'm in slippers. Remember this. I'm in slippers, PJ pants, and flannel and a t-shirt, and
At
I
least you had the gloves, but they weren't, like, waterproof, so it didn't
No,
really
yeah.
do much.
I had cotton gloves to keep my hands warm, which
Mhm.
helped immensely, but it wasn't enough.
Yeah.
And and then I'm kicking in slippers. I'm kicking as hard as I can on this log, and it's not enough. And so we're just kind of like maneuvering our way on the car to get off. It eventually worked. We did get out, but then we couldn't get up. And then truck after truck, neighbors kept coming around to check on us.
Some dude recorded us.
Some,
So if you
yeah,
see that on TikTok, that was us.
yeah, and let them know. Subscribe to Crash Couch. Check out the cast couch cast, whatever we're calling. What are we calling this?
I don't
Cast
know.
couch.
Oh, that's not good. That's not it,
Oh, it's
sir.
not good. Yeah, that's kind of funny. Couch
Oh,
cast.
that would be more appropriate.
We'll see in a few days when this uploads, or in a few months. Or you know what? I bet we'll probably upload the podcast soon.
Yeah, because it's gonna be, like, a separate thing, it'll be fine.
I would like this to be a weekly thing, just to sit down and just talk.
I just it's funny to me because that's, like, me when I try to call my mom. I'm like, "I really wanna, like, call her weekly and, like,
Oh my
actually,
god.
talk to her constantly," but then, like, when I do, it's like, "So how are you?" Same. Same as yesterday, same as last week.
See,
Same shit, different day.
you say that, but we really do go through a lot in a week.
Yeah,
Like if we were to record a podcast tomorrow, we would have nothing to say. We could
true.
do movie reviews, but that's just like fuck that. We're gonna talk about movies though, regardless.
Well, yeah, like, we're still gonna get into it eventually anyway.
So yeah, it sucks. We don't have water. We haven't had water for a while. Showers have been boiling water in a giant pot and then dipping a rag into the water and
My hair
washing
froze
ourselves.
yesterday washing my hair because what had happened was, right?
Uh huh.
It was still hot. The water was still hot, but it was like lukewarm because I had already washed my body and you had already washed yours, so it was lukewarm. And I didn't exactly know how else to wash my hair other than to like pull it over my head and then dip it into the pot and like with the cup that's on the sink, just like pour it in spots that it's not getting, right? And I really wanted to actually wash it with, like, soap rather than just water. So I got the body wash that's not frozen somehow, magically it has
I
not
can't
frozen.
believe it's not frozen.
Yeah, so I body washed my hair, and it was too much soap. So I was like, "Shit, I can't get the soap out of my hair because there's so much soap in it." So I scooped the bubbles out of the pot, and, like, you can tell that there's, like, bubbles in the sink just frozen. Like, I tried
Mm-hmm.
so hard to get all the soap off of me, but it didn't work, so I was like I called you over to bring me the gallon of water that's clean, so that way I can just wash the soap off. But that one was not lukewarm
No, it
or
fucking
warm in any
wasn't.
way. It was, in fact, very cold.
Of course it was. I
So
don't.
as soon as I
I
started
didn't know
pouring
what your
it,
plan was when I handed it to you. I was like, I hope she heats this up if she's gonna use it.
I didn't wanna, like, wait longer, and I couldn't, like, just stand there with my hair over my head like that, and, like, it would've been
No, I
cold.
understand.
So I it was way too cold, and as soon as it touched my head, everything just froze in place.
Yeah,
So that happened.
I don't mean to go off on a tangent real quick, but I already know people are gonna be like, "Well, why don't you let the water drip?" Because that's what my friends were telling me. Like, why didn't you just do this or do this? Let me tell you, the fucking water as it was dripping into the sink was freezing. It was turning into ice the
Yeah.
second it was touching the fucking bottom of the sink. So,
And now the knobs don't even turn on anything.
well, the knob broke off on our kitchen, and we
Yeah.
don't even know what happened. Cause you just what you walked in there and it was just
It
broken
was
off.
just in the head of it was just in the sink.
Yeah, I
I
what
don't
we
I
don't
guess the ice popped it off? I
we
don't
don't
know.
know. Yeah, I'm pretty sure the ice froze it and then it just popped off from the weight. So
Fuck that.
no matter what we could have done, it wouldn't have been enough. Everything's frozen.
Yeah.
Luckily, it's so cold in the house that the our food didn't go bad. Uh, thank fucking God my grandma got me a George Foreman grill.
Yeah.
And so that's been like the best way to cook the frozen foods that we have. But other
I
than
really
that,
want grilled peanut butter and jelly.
well, we'll
But
do that.
I already had biscuits with jelly earlier, and I don't.
Jellied out.
I'm jellied out.
Jellied out. We can do more ramen.
Oh fuck yeah!
Okay, so yeah, what we've been eating has been biscuits, like she said. We have
Oreos.
we oh my God,
The
no.
Oreos were already in the bedroom, and we were too lazy to get out into the kitchen into the freezing cold. So we were like, "Fuck it, let's just eat Oreos." I hear the cats
Yeah,
on the
the
sink.
cats are on the sink messing with shit. They're very hyper because they've been in the bed all day with us, and we don't let them leave. We brought their food and water because it was frozen out there. But
The
we brought
only
it
time we
inside.
let them out is for pooping and peeing because they're. I don't want to
Hmm.
take the litter box in there.
But anyway, I wanted to say that the food we've been eating,
Hmm.
uh, the Oreos, that goes back even further to Valentine's Day. Tulips fat.
Tulip.
Hold on, Tulips weighing down our
Oh
mics
my
right
god,
now.
tulip.
Okay, sorry. Um, this whole ordeal began on Valentine's Day, where
Dude, I was so sad. Listen, I'm sorry to interrupt you, but I was like so mad that it was cold that day. Like I was freezing because I had just got home from work and like work was really warm and home was very cold. So I was just pissed off. And then you were like, "Here, happy Valentine's Day," right? Did the whole special arrangement shit. And I was like, "You know what? This is okay. I'm fine now." And then everything went downhill.
yeah.
I'm
So
just
for Valentine's Day, I got you a little plant. That came
that
in a
was already
little.
frozen.
Well, the poor
You
guy.
watered it and
I
it
gave it some
froze.
water and it froze literally in minutes, and that was kind of like foretelling of what we were gonna go
Yeah.
through. I got you a big thing of chocolates and two large things of double stuffed Oreos and a balloon.
And a balloon that's been very entertaining.
That's been a big source of entertainment for us the past few days. But we had all of that, and then I was like, we'll just stay in the bedroom. We'll have a nice night because it's already kind of cold. And then after that, it just went downhill so hard. We It was so cold we could not get out of bed to eat. So we were eating Oreos pretty much every day, solid. And
Mhm.
then we had beer to stay warm.
You didn't even finish yours.
I didn't finish mine because it made me so sick to my stomach. Don't ever, ever, ever have beer and Oreos. Not that we were the healthiest eaters to begin with, but it genuinely made me like hate my body.
I was really hoping to go to work on Sunday, not just because of warmth, but because I really wanted my strawberryta. I
And
wanted to buy a shit ton of strawberrytas and just bring them home and just get drunk.
and that's when we had the car crash. You were supposed to go to work today, but we
It
when I tried to back out of
no.
the driveway, the car didn't even
It
move.
moved an inch
It moved a little bit, then I drove forward,
and
tried
it
to back out
slid a little
again,
bit.
and then it
Slid a little
slid,
bit
so
to the
it's
side.
probably stuck even more now,
Yeah.
actually. But yeah.
So hi boss.
You
As if.
know,
Hey.
fucking censor it out.
No. I'm just
You're
not gonna.
kind of. Hallie, I can't believe you said that.
I didn't say anything.
Oh my gosh, you can't say that. I gotta blur that
Oh
out. I'm
no.
gonna have to censor that out on the podcast.
Oops.
I'm not gonna fucking edit this, dude. There's so
That's
much
why I'm like
dumb
refusing to
shit.
say names right now. I'm just like, let me not talk about people.
Uh,
But
um,
for sure, I'm gonna get some shit. Like you called in
yeah.
this many times. You know that if you called in that many times and it counted, you'd be fired by now. It's like, yeah, I know that, cupcake eater. I know that.
So yeah, you and for Walmart, if you get a certain amount of if you like call in a specific amount of
Five
times, if
times.
you're absent,
If you get
if you're late,
it becomes an occurrence, which means it's just like a point that they add to naughty list or whatever, and if you get 5 points, you're fucked. You get fired instantly.
During COVID, they were doing well, COVID's still going on, but when it was kind of at its peak in Texas,
They had a COVID policy, and then they were like, it's over with, right?"
yeah, they had a policy where the occurrences wouldn't be counted against you, which we used. uh, to be fair, we used it
We were
kind of
yeah,
strenuously.
we were taking
We
advantage of it,
we were kind of, yeah, we were pushing our luck, to the point where a manager called me to
which is
uh
against policy.
literally threaten my job to come into work.
And
Um
now she's in Kansas. Maybe
and,
died in a car crash over? I don't know.
and I'm fired.
God.
And the excuse was I had too many occurrences, even though I didn't. That
Yeah.
was because of COVID, in which we almost did get COVID. And before that, we did have COVID.
Meanwhile, with fucking, uh, I don't know what else to call her other than her fucking name. Artist girl, the creator, right?
Tyler the Creator.
Meanwhile, she would call in every fucking day. She wasn't, there long enough to have enough time to cover for that. And they didn't do anything to her. They were just like, "Oh, so you called in this many times already, and uh if it wasn't because of the COVID policy, you would have already been fired." And she's like, "Okay." Continued to call in.
Hmm.
They didn't make a big deal about it at all.
I never called in again after being threatened.
Right.
Um, but let it be known in the Breckenridge Walmart, they they kept a known sex offender
Yeah,
and sexual assaulter with
for a good
numerous
while.
complaints
They fired him
long
eventually, but it took way too long to fire him.
long after I was fired for no reason.
Right.
And I was also the only person in my department.
And then the
So,
new manager had no idea what to do because she didn't even bother to ask you for help.
and then the big store manager was like, "Why does this department look so bad? Oh my gosh, we need everyone to come and work on it." Even though I would ask for help
Yeah.
every fucking day, I'd ask for help because I knew I'd get shit on for not getting specific stuff done. I did get shit on, and when I did ask for help, I got shit
It
on,
was,
and then I got fired.
you need to work faster and better and just do things better.
Mhm.
Why do you suck this much?
And so they got me a little
What?
they got me a little buddy who's underage, who
Ugh,
literally can't do half the
can't,
shit
yeah.
because he's underage, because Walmart has a policy where they can't even be near or touch
Dude,
certain things because they're
fucking
underage.
Andrew can't even make a key.
Exactly.
And it's like, bro, you just put the fucking key in the machine and it does it itself. You don't get injured by this machine.
Sterling couldn't put stuff into the
Oh,
fucking
I
bin.
thought we weren't gonna say names.
But then
I
you
mentioned
said
I know,
Andrew.
I mentioned Andrew because he was already in another thing.
Sterling doesn't care. Dude,
True.
he loves Star Wars. That's all he needs. Such a great kid. Shouts out to Sterling. But
He's an interesting one.
like why
Why?
is it illegal
Also, I think
for
the new girl that they hired is also kind of a minor. I
I
don't know. I
believe
haven't
it,
read her name tag, but she looks
but
very young.
you can't work with the taking the pallets out. You can't work with certain stuff in frozen. You can't put
Machinery in
certain shit
general.
in the baler.
Mhm.
You can't work with specific machinery. I had to be there to do 90% of the shit. And even when I did work with him, it was for like 10,
Yeah.
15 minutes at max because someone else would come in to take him somewhere else.
Right.
And then they're like, "Why didn't you get more stuff done?" It's like, "Cause you took my only fucking help." All right, look, this was a whole tangent. Fuck Walmart. Fuck the Breckenridge Walmart, and specifically,
Yeah, this one
um,
specifically is terrible, and it all has to do with the new store manager. Like as bad as that sounds, where it's like, a small town, we all know each other, and then outsiders being outcasted, right?
but
It has nothing to do with that.
it's literally
She's
footloose.
she's such a shitty person, and she doesn't understand that that's not how things work.
She is horrible. Let me just say, this woman, during a statewide emergency,
Right.
is still threatening jobs if they don't come in
Yeah.
by saying she's gonna come in to prove a point
Yeah.
because
Even though she has to do an hour and a half drive all the way over to the store.
she lives in the city.
But well, she was doing a phone call with her daughter, and stationary. I don't want to say their names. But she told me that she overheard her on the phone with her daughter saying that, her daughter was very concerned and didn't want her to go in because it's like, bro, obviously you're gonna fucking die on the road. And she's just like, well, I have to because I have to set an example and make sure everybody else comes in. She didn't show up.
She didn't
She didn't
show up.
show up on the fucking snow day. I asked Andrew, I was like, did she fucking show up? And he's like, no, nobody's here. No manager showed up that day. No valid manager showed up. Like,
Yep.
why the fuck are we being forced to come in then?
And I haven't worked there in like 4 or 5 months, and I still get people coming up to me being like, "It's a good thing that you got out when you did, brother." And I'm like, "Well, it wasn't my choice, but regardless." And
Yeah.
they're just like, "Cause it fucking sucks now." And I'm
It
like, "I
does
bet it
suck,
does."
but honestly, it's the only option. What
Who-
happened? What did you click
She
on?
Tulip clicked on something.
Tulip. Is it still recording though?
Yeah, it's still
Okay.
recording.
Then we're safe.
This is the most janky podcast episode. Remember in
It's fine.
The Garrett and Andrew thing where it's like, what are we even gonna talk about? Is anyone gonna even watch this? Literally, no one's gonna know what's going on in this
It's just us ranting about shit, dude.
because it didn't even start with like, "Hi, welcome to the first episode of the
Yeah,
podcast." It
true.
was like, "Hey guys, welcome back to Buffy."
I don't think we even started an intro.
We didn't.
We didn't
We,
even have
we,
an intro.
we talked about Seth Rogen.
Seth Rogen.
Not Seth Rogen.
What?
Adam Sandler. Adam Sandler. Seth
Let's
Rogen.
talk about Seth Rogen.
Let's not talk about Seth Rogen. Do you think I'm funnier than Seth Rogen?
Shut up. Oh
Anyway.
yeah, definitely.
Oh, he sucked. Oh, I hate him so
I don't
much.
even think Seth Rogen's funny.
No, I hope he dies.
Well, here's Seth Rogen. I have to take out my front teeth for that.
Same. I have to like.
Really?
I have to like.
Weed, am I right?
Oh, you funny weed. All right.
Seth Rogen is Yoda.
Parasite.
Oh,
We
now
watched that.
we're getting into that.
We're basically in quarantine since Texas didn't have a quarantine, but this is basically quarantine, meaning we get to
Mother
watch.
Nature's quarantine.
We get to catch up on all the movies we haven't seen. We watched the Toy Story movies too, and John Wick.
Those
We
were so
finished
good.
John Wick. But Parasite was the big one I wanted to watch
Oh,
because
Parasite.
literally I've only heard good things,
Mm-hmm.
but don't know anything about it. And we watched it, and it was pretty fucking good. Spoiler free, by the way. We're not gonna get into spoilers because you should watch the movie. It's really fucking good. Really good movie.
Spoiler free?
Yeah, no spoilers.
Well, then what the fuck are we gonna talk about?
Just talk about how good it was.
It was good. There.
The setting.
Skip for not listening to spoilers.
No,
Shit, bro.
because some people are just listening to the audio, so it's like I can't really be like, just no. We're not gonna talk about spoilers.
God damn it.
But
Okay.
the setting is so particular because they do a like it looks fake, right? Like the whole like the city and then the big house and then like where the
Right.
family lives. It's so like doesn't it feels like from an anime in terms of like detail, but that's
Yeah.
like that's such a real thing though. Is like
Yeah.
if you don't know, Parasite is like kind of like it's a Korean movie about like a high class family versus a low class family kind of thing. Again, watch the movie yourself. It's fucking wild. But the differences between the two is jarring, but you could do that kind of movie anywhere
I
and it would
think
work.
I'm hoping I'm not gonna spoil anything because I can't talk about something without spoiling it. But I think the moment that it connected, that it was that actually the same areas when they were like going back home.
Mhm.
So like watching them actually walk the street was like, what the fuck? It's like right there.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like I'm pretty sure they did walk a bit of a distance, but it wasn't like a huge distance
It
to
wasn't
where
enough to be like we need to take a train or something.
which I totally understand because that's how Eagle Pass is. Like you cross the train and it's like it's all like, mud homes and like it's not like actually, insulated areas. They're all like the door is a gate rather than
Yeah.
an actual door, and
Oh,
then you cross the train over to this side and
right.
it's, a bunch of really nice mansions.
It's
It's like, what the
so
fuck?
and like I said, that kind of movie with those characters can work literally in any place
Yeah.
in the world because it's not specific to Korea.
Yeah.
I mean, they talk. It
They
is,
obviously it
but
mentions that, but
yeah,
it
but
it it has nothing to
a
do with
lot of
that.
the dialogue can be replaced with similar
Mhm.
people, like and like famous people because it's just different historical figures.
Right.
But it's so wild how people like Steven Crowder and Alex Jones, Trump, were so against it, even though they like didn't watch the movie. Like that's literally what Trump
Well,
said.
because
He
it's
was
an
like,
it
I didn't see it,
it's
but
the Chinese movie,
yeah,
alright?
literally.
It's
That's
like, "No,
literally
shut the
all it
fuck up."
is the whole like I don't want to read subtitles, you
Right.
know? But it's so good, dude. It's such a clear like it's such a clear visualization of multiple perspectives on like uh, I don't want to say capitalism, but more of like people who are well off as opposed to
Yeah.
people who are like normal people.
It has to do a lot with money and how different people react towards it. There's, the bad decisions that some people make that, you know, you sometimes don't even have a choice but to make those bad decisions. And then there's, people that just don't understand that you have to make a bad
Hmm.
decision. You know what I mean?
And it's so crazy that a movie can make characters so unlikable, but they're just nice. Like they do
Yeah.
nothing wrong. They literally do nothing
Yeah.
wrong. It's just
Well, I
they're
think the father
privileged.
was a little bit of an asshole. After seeing that last scene, it was a little bit like, "Oh, okay." Like, he was kind of the root of, like, because I think the reason why this family was so successful was because his family was.
Yeah.
Like, I think that's what it was, and that's
Yeah,
why he
absolutely.
wasn't as down to earth as, like, the mom and the kids were. 'Cause
Well,
they weren't down to earth at all, but, they weren't
they weren't.
as dickhole as
The
this guy
the
was.
bar is so low.
Yeah.
Here's the thing, and it's not far off from reality.
Yeah.
It's really not like a whole big deal as to why there's such a separation and like they're human, and what makes you as a viewer dislike them are human reasons that you would dislike them.
Right.
It's like they aren't snooty, they aren't rude, but the way their body language is, the way they word stuff comes off as snotty and rude to someone normal.
Right.
But like someone in their class doesn't really see it like that. And that's not to say it's so alienated in terms of vocabulary, but more of just like you feel like they are looking down on you, but they're not.
But they're not. Like, not directly, but very indirect. You know what I mean?
Yeah, and again, that is so fucking real because you see people in a small ass town like Breckenridge, and this is a small ass town. Like this is a
Right.
town. It's not a city. It's a town. And I
Yeah.
know some people are like, well, you got a Walmart. It's a city. This is
No.
not a city.
The Walmart
It's
is
a
literally the
town.
size of a Dollar Tree.
I was from a small, and Allie can attest to this. She is from a city.
Which I thought was a small town until
Till she saw my town.
until I came here.
I am literally from a town of a population of like 2 to 500 people.
You blink and you miss it.
You blink and you miss it.
Yeah.
The only store that we have in town is a Dollar General and it's outside city limits.
Right.
That is the only way the city can afford anything is a Dollar General outside of city limits. We had a Dairy Queen that became the city hall. That's how bad it was.
Yeah.
Like people rode their horses to school. That's how that it was. Like small town. But I am still gonna say that Breckenridge is a small town
Yeah.
in comparison to a city. So you still meet those people at a Walmart who you're like, oh, they totally have their own plot of land and they live in a
Yeah.
2-story with an 8-bedroom house and they don't do anything for a living. Like
Yeah.
it's a housewife
It
and the
is
husband sells stuff.
absurd to me how many people come from out of town and they ask, you know, Some people like to say there's no such thing as stupid questions. There is. There absolutely is such thing as a stupid fucking question. Because they ask ridiculous fucking questions. Like, do y'all have any microphones? Like, does it look like we do?
We barely have like soy milk options
I know.
that are like kind of
What
reasonable.
was that one thing that the it was something toast? Nalba toast? She asked if we had Nalba toast and she was looking in the baby food section.
People ask for the photo
Department,
department.
the entire fucking photo department, which I understand that because that actually is like a thing that, bigger Walmarts have, but it's just
But no,
it's
that's the
ridiculous
thing
that they
though.
will drive up to this tiny ass building and go, "Where's your photo department?" Non-existent. All right? Like I don't know if you
Exactly.
can tell, but the distance from this side of the store to that side is like 10 feet. So I don't know. Do you want like 3 inches of photo department? Because we got nothing here.
And those people can well, a lot of them are rude because we're in Texas and
Yeah.
a lot of people are rude just for the sake of being
And they'll
rude.
they'll act like it's the end of the fucking world. Like, wow, I can't believe Walmart doesn't carry this one specific thing that I wanted. How dare you?
I drove like 20 hours to get here.
That's not my fucking that was your decision. You decided to do that on your own. I didn't fucking tell you to drive over here. The fuck?
I used to work in a deli and we would have these guys come
I
over.
think that's worse.
I've told you about this because people think it's a five-star restaurant. We sell the equivalent of like gas station food, you know.
Five-star restaurant. What the fuck is wrong with these people?
I've been asked if we had like seafood
Ugh!
kind of shit.
Ew!
If you
I would
want
not.
if you want fried fish, that's all you're getting. Fried catfish sticks.
I
But
don't trust seafood in any like
you
fast
shouldn't.
food places.
You
I do not
shouldn't.
trust that at all. Like
Absolutely
it
not.
has to be a very specific fancy ass motherfucking restaurant, either Asian or just
Do you
nothing. Like I can't have fish anywhere other than an Asian restaurant.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Do you know the whole like gas station sushi bit
No.
where it's like I forget the exact details, but it's a whole like stigma of like if you like want to die, you get gas station sushi.
What the fuck?
Cuz it's horrible. Anyway, about the deli. Excuse me. Even in the podcast, got to get a burp in. You know.
Of course.
It's a trademark of Crash Couch. But at this deli, we do have brisket and ribs, and it's smoked in the morning, and it's like 2 to 3 like briskets
It's
on
pretty good
average.
actually,
It's
but
good.
it's
Well,
not
cause
five-star restaurant.
because we hand marinate it, we season it by hand, we slow cook it overnight.
I don't know
Like
what this cat is doing, but that's
I
really
don't
fucking
either, but
loud.
I hear it.
That is so loud.
That's all. I can't see anything. I just hear it.
Yeah.
Anyway, um, and every now and again we will get these big time hunters because we're in Texas. Of course, we're
Mhm.
getting hunters, but we get the ones that are from like Nashville
Yeah.
and
How the
and
fuck did they even
Montana,
make it here?
who are like, "Hello, howdy, how are you guys?
Uh,
How are all
my
of you
eye just
guys?
twitched. That was a trigger.
Can I get 20 pounds of brisket?" And you're just like, "Oh my god, bro!" And keep in mind, 1 pound of brisket is like $12 to $14.
Right.
These guys want 20 pounds, and that is like 6 briskets at least. I want to
Mhm.
say it's been a while, but and I'm just like, bro, you need to like assess the situation.
Yeah.
And it's like midday. We already lost most of our brisket. You know, most half the ribs are gone, and they're just like, well, what do you mean? Don't you have more?
Mhm.
Do you not know how brisket is cooked or ribs? I'll just throw it in the microwave, brother. It'll be done in like five
Right.
minutes. That's not how it
That's
works,
not
man.
yeah.
But people are like, some people just have never
You
cooked
know what it
once
is?
in their life. What?
Cuz I I'm the type of person that puts myself in other people's shoes. I love to do that. I for some reason it's like I love to disassociate myself and, like, pretend I'm somebody else. You know what I mean? So, when somebody like that comes up to me, I try to figure out what I would do in that situation. Like,
As them?
not as them, but, like, as myself, you know? Because I like to think of, like,
Oh,
if I was in their position with the knowledge that I already have, and I came from out of town. I went to a small town, right? And I wanted something that, maybe they did or maybe they wouldn't have it, right? I would look on the app. And if I didn't have the knowledge of seeing the aisle location, then I would have asked, "Where's this?"
mhm.
So to me it's the fact that they've never worked in an area like that.
Yeah,
They do
that's
not have
another
the
big part of it.
experience of working in a very small town, uh, in like a one of those like big corporation kind of things where you're getting fucked over all the time.
You're a number.
Your number, yeah, and your pay sucks. So they don't really get that. And if they did have the experience at some point, would like to know what erased that memory in your head because I will never be able to get past this. Like, if I ever have to quit my job and actually work my dream, I don't think I could ever get over it.
Yeah.
Like, I would still be triggered by "ma'am." Every time that I hear "ma'am," I would still be triggered.
The kinda on the
Yeah.
radio.
The radio noise, any song that I heard at Walmart will be a trigger. Like,
Mhm.
all of this shit is just traumatizing.
There is a song that you still love that it plays on the United radio that like
Blondie,
yeah,
I
like
love Blondie.
every time I hear it play that you play it, there's
It
another one
hurts you.
too. It hurts me
Yeah,
physically because
it sucks.
Walmart radio is a million times worse than or
Better.
United radio is a million times worse than
Mhm.
Walmart by a fucking long shot.
Because
Because
United has, like, 3 songs.
at least Walmart will change it sometimes or have like a special like a radio host kind of shit.
Yeah, on the
Walmart
weekends, they do the weekend countdown with
Y
Bo. Like,
United
shut the fuck up.
United is like, "We will play the same 5 songs from 2003, and you will like it, and that
Yeah.
is it, and that is fucking it." This is the same United that literally blew up, and, we went to work in, like, 20 minutes later. Um, yeah, what you were saying is, about workers, about, like, people not having a kind
Mhm.
of job like that, it's super true,
They don't get it.
you can tell when people have never worked retail.
But now that I understand, I feel so scared of traveling and accidentally being that person. Like, that's my fear. I do not wanna become that person. Like, I will still understand the situation. If a fucking worker snaps at me, I'm gonna be like, "You know what? I'm sorry." Like, "I understand you're having a rough time. I'll let you go, just
Mhm.
go calm down somewhere," But that's because I know what it's like.
Yeah,
You know what I mean?
absolutely.
Like, I'm not gonna forget the fact that I worked there. I'm not gonna forget that all of this shit is still hurting other people. Like,
Yeah.
even after I've quit my job and start living the dream, right? There's still people there. They're still like continuing the cycle of trauma for everybody. And it sucks. Like the kids that are at Walmart that, underage minors, I'm like, how the fuck? How are you surviving through this? Like, if I was your age right now, I would have fucking attempted suicide more than I already have?
It's so wild because there's such a there's such a stigma against raising the minimum wage. There's so many people that just are super against it.
Mhm.
But you will never see someone who works retail who is against minimum wage
Yeah.
because they are already getting the minimum. They know how much it sucks. The biggest paycheck they see is like $280 a week,
Yeah.
like at max, and that's if you never missed a day. You get good hours, and good hours meaning you spend like 2/3 of your week there. Those are
Mhm.
good hours. That is not a life to live. And that is how it's portrayed in, like, specific media, is how it's a privilege to
Right.
work. two
And
two out of three of
if
your
you
life.
have any comment on not wanting to work 5 days out of 7, you are weak. You are a baby, you're a snowflake, and you're not built for this kind of life. The strong ones are the ones that are gonna survive, and it's like, no. No, that's bullshit because it absolutely shouldn't even be a thing. I
Mhm.
should be getting paid to do the work that I'm there to do, and then when I'm fucking done, I go home. You know what I mean? Rather than having to fucking stand around for 5 fucking hours zoning, quote unquote zoning. You think I'm fucking zoning? I'm standing there doing nothing. You know what I mean? Like
Mhm.
what am I gonna zone? 2 aisles that no one has touched because it's a small fucking town?
And that's not to say the work is easy. It's it's difficult because it's different every day. You
Yeah.
never know what you're getting into, and you can be fired on an instant for any reason. I mean, look at me. I was fired for basically just doing my job like well, just not as the way someone else wanted me to do it. It was getting done. It
I
just
think it's
wasn't done how someone liked it.
I really do think she's sexist.
Oh, well,
I've
that's
seen
a
her
different
get
thing.
on so many people, but they're all male.
We have someone that is hard of hearing at the Walmart here, and she gets on to him, and he's literally the nicest guy who he works so fucking hard. He helps
Mhm.
so often. He never ever asks for anything. He's just a great person. Like no one has anything
He's a
bad to say about
tank.
him. And she
Jackie, no.
just dogs on him for the dumbest shit. And like I don't get it, you know?
I
It's
think
just
what it was that one time was that she said that he had clocked in late and therefore it's a ding, right? A little point for the naughty boys. And he was already in the back with the yellow vest on working machinery and shit. And she was like, "No, you can't do that because you were late. You have to go home." Like some weird shit. Like she really didn't want him there because he apparently showed that he didn't want to be there. When I think what it was is that his badge just, he probably just didn't click the button right or something and it didn't punch in the way that it should have. So
mm.
he did clock in, but the system showed that he didn't, and therefore she thought he didn't want to be there and was like, "No, you need to go home."
Jackie. Jackie.
So
Sorry.
that to me that doesn't make any sense. He was already on the job doing his job. He was fucking working the equipment that nobody else can because they don't do training enough. And she was just like, no,
Yeah.
no.
Like I feel like we've talked shit on her enough, but just the final nail in the coffin. Fuck Walmart. Fuck the way its management works. Fuck the Breckenridge management in general. Uh, ch- Fuck the Breckenridge Walmart. Period.
Hmm.
Um, the workers are great. People are so nice because they know shit sucks and they're just doing their best. But they're constantly being told it's not enough
I
and
only like
they're not
Carol.
worth it.
Carol's the only one that appreciates what you're
Well,
doing.
she's the only one that said I was doing a great job, and she was the one being told to fire me, which felt very
Yeah.
just disingenuous. But
She,
whatever.
you know, she tries to stay out of the fire the best way that she
Well,
can.
now she's gonna have to step it up because she's the only one left.
Yeah. But I just the way I see it is a lost cause cuz I think Carol would be way better off if she was above the store manager. If
Absolutely.
she was anywhere other than underneath her. Cuz that to me is like where she no longer has potential to do anything because she has to kiss her ass. You know what I mean?
Right, yeah. Um, this is super specific and personal. Um, so I'm sorry if people are like, "What are you talking about?"
This went from funny haha snow day to oh oh
Well, this
no.
is basically the podcast that we're gonna be having. Is just random tangents for like an hour or two,
Us just
and
slowly descending into depression.
I want to apologize for the random yelling at Jackie and Tulip, but they
They're
they
very hyper.
they love They love this shit. They love to like bully us. Like this isn't a joke. They will play with the same thing that they know we hate when they mess with it. Like like wires, they love to bite on that shit. They love to like push stuff that's gonna break or melt or like spill or just make a mess or hurt them. They love that one too. They love the doing the thing that's gonna hurt them, but when we try to stop them, but they want to do it anyway, just because they love that we get mad at them. Um, our cats rule our world, pretty much.
Yeah, they own us,
They own us pretty
which
well.
every cat owner can say the same.
Yeah,
The cat owns you.
which we're cat owners, but I don't think I'm a cat person personally. I think I'm more of just a animal
Animal
person.
person. But yeah. Yeah, that's definitely you. I don't think it matters what animal it is. You're just like, that's cute. Like, yeah, I get it. Some people fucking hate snakes, but I think they're fucking cute.
Yeah.
Like, I don't think I would want one because I definitely know nothing
God,
about
dude.
them, and I don't, want to
Yeah.
risk killing one because of my mistakes in learning things. So, I wouldn't want that.
Yeah.
Like, I would prefer a professional to show me what the fuck they're doing with their snake, and then
Mhm.
maybe I'll get one, but it's too risky for
Ki
me to learn.
Yeah, let me just preface, we live in Texas. Ugh, I've killed a few snakes in my time
Oh, yeah.
out of just, like, necessity, never
Mhm.
just for funsies. Um, I still will never understand the need to murder snakes that are
Yeah,
just
it's pointless.
existing. I have seen people, like, go out of their way to just kill some that are on the road, just not near anyone's house, not
No,
near
that
any
TikTok that you
towns.
you didn't see because I didn't want you to see, I just explained it to you.
Mhm.
But that guy, he was on a four-wheeler and he sees a snake on the road, not doing anything, and he goes over it with the tire, backs up, and then lets the tire roll onto it until it, like, flings off and dies. And, like, it's fucked up, like, why?
Yeah.
What was the
Eh
reason behind that? It wasn't doing anything, you could've easily just driven by.
and the comments are all like, "Clearly none of y'all lived in Texas. We
Yeah.
love to kill things down here." And it's like, "Listen,
Like,
I."
there's very few people that were like, "What the fuck did the snake do to you?" And then
Exactly.
everybody harasses them and be
Yeah.
like, "You're snowflake.
Snowflake.
You're weak. You don't get it." And it's like, "Whoa, bro, like, the snake wasn't doing anything.
Listen,
How would you like if somebody ran a
and
fucking tire up your face?"
you can call us hippies and tree huggers, sure.
I'll hug a tree. Fuck
Whatever
it. The tree
you
deserves it.
whatever you want, man. But I just think life doesn't deserve to be ended for no reason. I feel like there should be reasons to everything, or else you just become a regardless of like what your definition of a killer is.
Mm.
Like, I don't kill bugs in the house unnecessarily. You know, I obviously I've killed spiders and
I
shit,
think
but
the
that's
spiders
because,
just die naturally because there's nothing to feed off of in here.
well, yeah, not anymore because it's cold
Yeah.
and doesn't rain, so no bugs get to
Yeah.
be born into
But
existence.
when there's, bugs outside, those big ass, fat
Like
ass spiders come out and they're creepy. They're creepy looking, but I mean, hey, fuck
they
it.
they keep the house
Yeah.
clean. They keep the bugs out. I don't think there's a reason to kill them, so I don't kill them. When the bees fly into the house, there's no reason to
I
kill them.
hate bees.
The
Like,
bees are so
I
sweet
it's
and
not that I
innocent.
hate
They
them, I
help
just get
people.
really scared of them.
They help pollinate the world, and we would all die without them.
Yeah, like I don't hate bees. That's not what I meant. It's more of
Now,
like I don't I've
listen,
gone this long without being stung by a bee, and I'm pretty sure it's like nothing. It's like nothing. But I'm just so scared. I don't want to get stung by a bee.
wasps, on the other hand,
Oh, fuck wasps. Fuck
they
those bitches.
choose
Mosquitoes,
violence.
fuck those bitches.
Mosquitoes choose violence, so
Mosquitoes
I
need to
will answer
die.
back in
Those are
violence.
the ones that are like, yeah, we're fine without the
Now,
mosquitoes.
when wasps are just trying to leave, I'll let them out. But when they're
Yeah.
just like flying around the house, they're like, "I'm gonna build my nest in here." I'm like, "Nah, motherfucker, you are not.
Get the
You are
fuck out.
dying." Scorpions too. Like I've seen videos
Yeah.
of people just being like, "Look, they're docile and chill." Not the ones that live here. They want to kill you.
Yeah.
I I've never been stung by a scorpion before, but living here, I've been stung by a scorpion in my sleep, and it fucking sucked. And the little shit, uh, continually tried to sting me, and then the one in the shower one time came right after me, tried to sting me.
Mhm.
Like,
Did I don't think I've mentioned this, but my dad's very, like, gentle with animals and insects and all that shit, which is very weird considering his, opinions on
he's a
Trump.
conservative
But, he
ish.
he really does care for creatures like that, and I've already told you the story about, like, the snake that creeped up on me and he, like, caught it, put it in a jar, and just released it somewhere else, 'cause
Right.
it wasn't gonna do anything, it wasn't even poisonous, it was just a little baby snake, and I don't remember if I told you about the tarantula.
No, you have, but please tell me.
So, I can't remember exactly where the tarantula was, I think it was just in the garage or something. But he didn't want it to get inside because obviously those are a little bit more on the dangerous side. And you know, he decided to just kick it out. And this tarantula was ready to attack. Like just from like seeing him, it started to like, lift up its little
Yeah, because
thingies and like
it's like don't fuck with me,
yeah,
bro.
he was ready to fucking come at him. So he grabbed a broom and like just like kept swatting him over to like off the property, just like trying to get
Hmm.
him away. I don't think he actually killed it. He just like tried to get it off the property. And he like with the broom, what's Tulip doing?
I don't know, but she's like Tulip's trying to like look out our window, but she's like being stupid.
Ugh, I can hear her struggling to
Yeah,
breathe.
her little
Anyway, so like huge like swift
oh
of the
jeez,
broom.
here she comes.
Tulip, stop interrupting my story.
Come here, come here. Just lay down.
Yeah, she's getting there. So just like, one final hit of the broom to like get the tarantula away. And he realized it wasn't moving anymore, so he was like, all right, it's probably injured enough or whatever. And just like he started walking back to the house. And I swear, dude, I was panicking because as soon as he turned around, this fucking spider ran straight at him. I was like, "No!" And so he turned around again with the fucking broom and like just kept going at it. But this spider was like picking a fucking fight. Like he was really going after them. So I mean, resorted to just raiding the shit out of him.
No.
Just grabbed some raid and just right at him.
Yeah, listen. Um, as I was saying, fuckers that pick a fight, that's a different story. Along with that, things that will straight up kill someone when it's like on property, that's also a different story. When I said I've killed snakes, I've killed rattlesnakes that were like
Yeah.
either around my house or like in near someone's house. Uh, like on, well, my my stepdad owns a hunting lodge, so I used to work there, and I there were snakes there all the fucking time because he just has barns full of random shit, and it's always scares me to go in there because it's just
Mhm.
fucking they don't know what kind of fucking snake or black widow is gonna be there.
Right.
But rattlesnakes and black widows, if they're like on the property, that's a different story. That fucker needs to go. That is not a thing of like we'll just relocate it. No, they'll come back.
Yeah.
They will come back, and you cannot be safe. And I wouldn't pick up a black widow or rattlesnake anyway. You know, like
I really want to hear what a rattlesnake sounds like because that night when I took the cats out and you were at work, I heard the loudest fucking like noise and I wasn't sure if that was just the way that a snake naturally sounded or if that was a rattlesnake.
oh,
I don't think it was a rattlesnake because I feel like that would have attacked me, no?
rattlesnakes are more territorial. They're not like vicious.
Mm,
Bull snakes, I think, are more aggressive. Not to say that rattlesnakes aren't,
right.
but it's just that rattlesnake isn't really like it's more like a
Yeah, 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 yeah.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
That's what I mean. Like it was really like
It's
it
loud,
was loud.
and it really it's such an animal thing too, because it like sends a shiver in you of
Well,
adrenaline,
yeah,
because
because
you're
I've never heard a snake before. So
hmm
when I heard that, I was just like, "What the fuck is making that noise?" Like I looked up because I was like, "Aliens?" Like, it just dude, I've never heard a snake before. So I was, like, really like, "What the fuck is that? Are the cats, like, hissing at each other? Like, what is that?"
Was that with sausage?
Yeah, that was a
Okay.
sausage.
Yeah.
So it was, like, all 5 of them. How many were there? No, it was, like, 4. It was sausage, s'more, Smokey,
Spooks.
Spooks. We didn't have Tulip yet, so it was 4 of them. So Sausage was, like, curious, went closer to a snake, and that's when I heard the loud ass noise, and I was just like, "What the fuck?" But since it was dark outside, all I saw was, like, kinda like a water hose looking thing, like, it was just like a shadow. So I was like, "Holy shit, snake!" So I picked all 4 of them up with my mama
Right.
arms and ran home, but
Your mama arms?
yeah.
Big
It
honking
was kinda
mama?
hard to get S'more up because she was a little bit chunky.
Yeah. You hear that, Jackie? Your mom was a fat
She's
ass.
getting there.
She is getting there.
Jackie's getting there.
Jackie's getting there. Um, dude, I guess we should talk about our origin story at some point, but
Origin?
yeah, of just everything. Because we have a lot of stories to tell. We're an interesting duo, and since living here has
Oh, a
been
lot has
interesting.
happened.
It's only been like 2
Dude, this has
years.
been a learning experience for me. I've never been a bug person, I've never, like well, because I lived in a city. Like, now I know it was a fucking city.
Now you know what it's like to be a country boy.
Like, in a, very, sheltered neighborhood. It wasn't, gated or anything, it wasn't special, but it
But
was
you don't have lawn.
yeah.
That's weird to
It was,
me.
house after house after house, and, like, I didn't have to deal with fucking dirt divers. I didn't know what the fuck that was. I was like, "What the fuck is that? That's a fucking wasp." And you're just like, "Dude, it's not gonna do anything to you." I'm like, "What? It's gonna kill me." And then I got used to them, and then my parents came to visit, and then my dad was like, "It's gonna kill me."
That was great. He wouldn't even wanna go
I didn't wanna go
outside.
outside.
It's
It
so
was
funny.
so hot inside, and outside there
Oh my
was
god.
wind, so it was
They hated
fresh.
it.
And I
That
was like, "Dad, you should just go outside because it's really, really hot in here. You might have a heat stroke. Outside is
Oh my
fresh. Just
god.
go outside." And he's like, "No, the wasps are gonna get me." Like, what wasps? They're not even wasps.
Listen, so along with that, no insulation means when it's cold, it's fucking cold. It's colder inside than it is outside.
Right.
Along with that, it's hotter inside than it is outside. It's so fucking hot during the
Yeah.
summer this time. It's easily like if it's 95 outside, it's 100 inside. Period. Like it's fucking sweaty as hell. Your parents decide to come
Yeah.
over. They tell us like 5 days in advance. But we don't
We
believe
weren't
them.
even moved in yet.
No,
Like, we
we've
didn't
been there for
even
like a few months, I
I
think.
think we finally did take all the shit out of our boxes. Um, but we weren't fully organized or I mean, we still technically aren't. We have a couch and a fucking TV. Like we don't have like, "Ooh, look at our cute little living
Oh my
room."
god.
You know what I mean? Like it's just a fucking couch and a TV.
I kind of want to do like a video of the house just to show how little we
I
have.
think that's a good idea because we're gonna move.
Yeah. Okay.
If we were still gonna live here for longer, I'd be like,
Oh my
"No, I'm
god, dude,
so
I'm so
ashamed."
fucking excited to move. I hate this place so fucking much. I love the people that I've met. Some of the nicest people
Right.
I've ever met.
Yeah.
Such sweethearts. We meet some people that it's like, oh, I wish like we were not socially awkward to be friends.
I
Because you guys are
love
cool.
D so much. Like, I have no reason to. He's like, what, 60? He's old, he's
But
an
he's
old
like, he
guy.
reminds you of your
He
dad.
gives me that dad energy, and I have this connection with him because of that. And like he's had daughters before, so he kind of like accidentally, like, and not really knowing that he's treating me like his daughter, kind of does it anyway. So it's like I feel very close to him. I don't know him. I don't know his personal life. I know like just simple as details, like he
Right.
loves horses and all that shit. So I'm gonna miss seeing him and talking to him, but I'm definitely gonna keep him friended on Facebook and just look at pictures of his horses.
Right. I will miss Tanya, and that's about it. Everyone else, they're cool. But and I had like a special connection of like the whole like just kind of messing with each other. But like when she told me that her cancer scans came back negative, I was like, I'm gonna hug this woman.
Yeah.
She's such a sweet old lady. And I bond with women the most because I didn't have a mom. But
I
um
mean,
I get along with women more than guys because guys are just very much like, dude, what do you
yeah.
think about Kim Kardashian? It's like,
Yeah.
all right,
At least
brother.
the guys that you meet do
Uh,
that. But you know what? I think that guys that I meet don't do that to me because I'm a girl.
well, no, because Andrew showed you nudes that one time of that girl that sent him nudes.
Mm.
It's the same
I think
energy.
that's because Andrew's a child and he wants to be a playa. I think that just depends on Andrew. That's just him.
Well,
You
listen,
know what I mean? But like,
to
if a random ass guy that I just met was to talk to me, he would not talk anything about shit like that.
like compared to you, I had probably the worst time here. I feel like you had a better time here overall because I had numerous work injuries at the deli that I worked at, and then
Yeah.
I moved to Walmart for temporary. Told all the time I'd be full time eventually because they need me.
Right.
I work with some of the most frustrating people I've ever worked with.
Yeah.
I met one cool guy. He left that same day.
Yeah.
My manager at the time was cool. Never saw him. And that was it. And then I got fired. And now I'm homeless. Kidding. But
Yeah, I think
you have a stable spot. Like, to be fair, I didn't get to deal with people, but you did. Like, that's a positive for me. But in
oh,
in response, I became pretty much like socially inept when people did
you
ask
did
me
have
for
to
problems.
deal with people. Well, I mean, not at Walmart, but at United.
Oh
I think you
yeah.
got the bad end of it
If
at
we can talk
United.
about who had the worst job, it was
It was
definitely me at
United.
United because I was paid like minimum wage and then I was paid $8 and
Yeah.
that was my only raise. And then I burned myself consistently on a daily basis.
And
I
then
got used
every
to
single
handling
customer
food.
at United was a fucking asshole. Like they're just
Oh,
pricks.
oh,
I mean, if you're going to
gold
a
mine.
grocery store where the fucking cashiers are forced to take the groceries to your car, I mean, fuck you. You know what I mean? Like it's such a weird thing. Like yeah, they can offer, but it's like they have to do it. They have to take groceries to your car and you shopping there are going to be like, "Yeah, you better."
Yeah.
Fucking
It
dick.
it's weird for you to be like, "No, I can actually carry those myself," which I always did because I felt awkward being
Yeah.
like, "No, yeah, carry my stuff."
It's
And
weird.
especially because I wouldn't get that
Anybody that
much.
enjoys that is just already fucked in the head.
The one time I had someone take my stuff to the car is when um I had sliced my finger in half.
Oh, yeah, yeah, yeah.
And I literally couldn't like open up my wallet or uh pay like carry the bags or my cart. I had to ask this mom to carry my stuff for me because I literally couldn't. And like I had to drive with one hand, open everything with one hand. Like I was pretty disabled for the day.
Mhm.
Still finished the shift though, because they were like, "You bleeding?" Yeah. How much? Well, that's a lot of blood.
Yeah.
Need stitches? Oh well, can't really stitch that.
People really don't
Well,
know how to react with shit like that.
just wrap it up in the paper towel
Yeah.
and then put some tape around it, and then we got these waterproof things.
Which wouldn't that be worse?
It
Because the
was
paper towel
worse.
would get stuck to your finger.
It did.
Yeah.
And then I had to disinfect it
I'd be
after.
like, "No, I'm not gonna put a fucking paper towel."
I didn't get the doctored until we got home, and then you doctored it for me.
Stupid.
And you saw it.
It was
It
gross.
was pretty nasty. I still
Very
can't
gross.
feel that part of my finger.
Of course not. I think that's just gone
It's
forever.
gone forever.
It's gone forever.
United has taken a chunk of my finger. And I play guitar.
I hope it's in somebody's food.
I do too. Dude, that's the only place I don't work there anymore, so I can say this without fear of being ever fired or ever working there again, but I did spit in people's food. and I did like fuck up their orders, and I did overcharge them if they were assholes, and they were always assholes because United is very lenient in like price ranging stuff.
Mhm.
I've paid for people's food, I've given people food, like I've helped people get food. Like, not to say I'm a shitty person who only is like being an asshole, but there's a lot of assholes that will come to United and they will.
It's the store itself, the way that it's run
Well, Ali,
is what attracts these people.
I've I almost got into a fight with some drunk dude because he
Yeah,
didn't want to pay
I
$7 for
know.
fish. The fish is $7, brother. I don't. It doesn't matter if we're closing soon. Guess what? We throw it away at the end of the day.
Yeah,
You want it, you go dumpster diving like the rest of the town does.
for real.
Juanita had more manners than 90% of the people that would come into United.
It's just disturbing.
Did I tell you about the time Juanita hit on my coworker?
Yes.
Oh my god.
Oh, that is my favorite story to tell about
Oh my
Juanita.
god. That's
I
so
love her so much.
so funny.
Dude, she called me the other day.
Juanita?
Yeah, I can't remember what it was.
Well, okay, hold on. For just so everyone knows, Juanita
Oh,
is
I remember now.
like, well,
No,
hold
no,
on.
no, yeah, continue.
Keep it in your head.
Continue.
Pin it. Juanita is this just character in Breckenridge who everyone knows just for her being so crazy. But sometimes you'll see her and you'll just be like, "Oh, she's okay. She's doing better." And then you'll see her again. You're like, "Oh,
Oh, what
what
happened?
happened?"
Did a little bit of a relapse, did we?
Like, you don't know if she's homeless or
Well,
a crackhead.
apparently she was a prostitute before.
I
Before being
I
a
heard that
crackhead.
as well.
Or
Yeah.
during being a crackhead, I don't know. But I don't know if that's just a shitty rumor that people came up with or if that actually did happen.
I don't know.
I wouldn't be so surprised though.
From what I've heard, she's like a ringleader
I have
of
2 stories to tell
prostitutes.
about Juanita that I forgot to tell you about, so this is gonna be fun.
Um, Welcome to Juanita segment of the podcast.
It's time for Juanita.
Woo! Juanita alert, everybody.
Juanita.
When we move, we need to find a new Juanita, which we'll
Oh, we
probably
have
find
to.
because it's a bigger town.
I'm gonna miss. You know what? I said I'm gonna miss D the most. I'm gonna miss Juanita the most.
Just the stories.
Yeah.
Um, so Juanita is an African American, just for preference, because her dialogue is very
It's
specific.
a little bit southern. A little bit.
It's pretty southern.
Yeah.
So my coworker is half black and is literally one of I want to say 5 black people in Breckenridge in total. Like, I've met the
Mhm.
same 5 black guys in Breckenridge.
Right.
So he's pretty young. He's like, I learned he's in his 30s. He's tall, pretty attractive. And Juanita is like, is he a N word? She asked me.
Yeah.
And I'm like, um,
She didn't say N word. She said the actual word.
no,
Just
yeah,
just as
no.
a
No.
just letting you
When I
know.
say
She said
the
the
N
actual
word,
word.
when I say literally N word, she is saying the N word.
Yeah.
So, and I am a white boy. I don't look like it, and I don't look like it in thumbnails. But I'm a white boy. I'm a fat, privileged white male who's straight.
Well, you're white, but to white people, you look Mexican.
That's the worst part. Is to white people I look Mexican. To Mexicans, half of them think I'm also Mexican, and the other half are like, "That's a white boy."
Yeah, my sister was like,
Do
"Is
you know
Devin
Spanish?
is Devin Mexican?
Yeah.
Do you know Spanish?"
Which compared to Aaron,
No.
no.
Girl, no.
Anyway, um, me being a white fat piece of shit white boy, I was like, I don't know how to answer her. Do I go, yeah, that's an N word right there. So I was like, yeah.
Dude, I think I would just laugh. I'd be like, "What?" Just like laugh it off.
And she's like, mm. And Corey, my coworker, is literally right there. He's literally right next to me.
Oh
He's
god.
right next to me.
Oh, I love
He's
her.
not it's not that he's not paying attention or that, like, when he is whispering this to me, she's yelling
Mhm.
this.
She always yells.
She always yells.
There is no whisper.
She always yells. I have another story to tell about that, but,
Yeah.
um and she's like, need some of that meat." And Corey just turns around and walks away.
Yeah.
And she's like, "Damn, he rude."
Yeah. Yeah.
And then like weeks later, when Corey went back to live with his girlfriend or whatever, she was like, "That N word still work here?" And I was like, "No, ma'am, he does not." She's like, "Good, he was a rude son of a bitch."
Yeah.
And I was like, "Oh yeah." So tell your Juanita story.
Oh, mine?
Yes.
I'm gonna tell you about the call because my or I guess I can just do both because the
Yeah,
the
yeah.
first one that I'm thinking about is pretty short. Um, so Bobby, right, has a son, Dewey, right, who's been known throughout the entire town for being like the best person ever. Like everybody loves Dewey so much. Like everybody that I know that knows Dewey, they're like, "Oh, I love Dewey. He's the fucking best," right?
Yeah, it's great.
So I had clocked out for lunch, went to the break room, and now Bobby has to work nights too, so she was practically taking her lunch at the same time I was. And I came in the middle of a conversation of her uh telling a story about how Juanita tried to marry Dewey. Dewey's gay.
Yeah, he's very gay.
He's
The first
fucking
time I
gay.
met him, he had like nipple piercings that were just out there.
Yeah.
It was pretty
And
distracting.
he lived in
He's
Colorado.
very out there.
He lived in Colorado for like a good bit of his life. So he has like that personality of somebody that would live in Colorado. Like he is all about pot, all about, the awesomeness that is Colorado. So, you know, what what would what would, Juanita think that, he would be interested in that?
I
Why?
I didn't know about this.
Yeah.
She got like on one knee.
No, it was more of like um
She got a ring pop.
I think what
Already
she had
eaten.
said was if Dewey wasn't the way that he was, she would marry him. As in like if Dewey wasn't gay. Which is like, okay, if Dewey wasn't gay, he would
Okay.
still not want you, girl.
Like, no, I will hold him down.
Yeah.
Put a ring on that finger.
She was very much interested in Dewey and I get why, Dewey's pretty awesome, but like mm,
It's an interesting take.
I know, Juanita, what? Girl, what?
Oh my gosh, that's great.
But anyway, so the call, right? I forgot that she existed when she called. So
Mm-hmm.
I didn't recognize that it was her
Got hit with
cuz
a reality check.
she you know, she used to be very crackheady. She got better over time and then would slip back into crackhead and then get better. So sometimes it was like you couldn't really recognize her sometimes because she was just a better person randomly, right? So when she called, she didn't really have her crackheady voice going on. So I was just like, oh, just a random ass person, right? But she was asking for these antenna TVs or something like that, but it was an as seen on TV product, which
Right.
has nothing to do with electronics. I get it,
Good
the
stuff.
antenna technically is in electronics, but it is an as seen on TV product, which is its own aisle, its own location.
It's his whole fucking thing.
Yeah. So I make it seem like I'm actually interested in what she's asking for, and I'm like, okay, give me 1 second, right? And I put her on hold, expecting her to hang up. Because that usually happens because by the time I get to the fucking as seen on TV products, they will most likely would have hung up by the time I'm back, right? So, I'm just waiting and waiting and waiting, and she has not hung up. It literally was like 8 minutes of her on the phone, and she did not hang up. And it tells you the time, so I know it was 8 minutes. And I was like, "Oh, no, like, she really isn't gonna hang up."
Jeez. The
So
fuck was she doing?
I don't know. So I picked up the phone again and I was like, "Yeah, we don't carry that." Just like, dude, I'm not gonna fucking walk over there for you. And that's when I realized it was Juanita because her little accent came out with her pissed offiness, right? And
Mm.
she's just like, "Well, they were there the other day," and I'm like, "Oh, well, and since I didn't check, I mean,
Yeah.
I'm just gonna be like, I mean, I didn't see them, so." And she's just like, "But they were in as seen on TV. Do you know what I'm talking about?" I'm like, "Yeah, that's the antenna in the as seen on TV products, right?" Just repeating the same thing that she had
Of
already
course.
said. And she's just like, "Yeah, those." I'm like, "Yeah, I don't really work over there, so I didn't see it." She's just like, "Okay, I won't ask you any other questions then." And just hung up. And it's like, to me, that's the most tame she's ever been. 'Cause
Mm.
she has asked me to, uh, what was it, a movie, I think? Either a movie or, uh, I can't remember what it was, but she had asked me to buy it for her, and she would pay me back when she gets here. I'm like, "Girl, I no."
Remember when she asked you for, like, love goo or something?
What the fuck?
What?
Yeah.
What was it?
I think it was like a conditioner, a hair conditioner thing.
What was it called? It
No,
was
I
like
think it was like Love Goo or something
it's like
like
love
that.
juice.
Love Juice, yeah.
It's super it sounded like fucking lube
I
when you were
think
telling me about it.
I think it was she's probably saw it on, like, a commercial, on, like, Walmart commercial thing or whatever, and she came into the store looking for it, and, the girl in HBA was like, "Okay, I'll help you look for it," because she came straight to me for some reason, and I'm just like,
Jesus.
"I don't know. I don't work over there."
Yeah, for reference, Ali works in, electronics, which is very far away.
I mean, again, it's a small store, but, like, you're gonna walk into the store and go all the way to the back wall to
Yeah,
to ask me
you're going
that.
from one end to the store to the other.
It's just I don't it just weirded me out, and
It's
I'm like,
funny.
"I'm sorry, but I have no idea what you're talking about," and I even, like, looked it up on the website, and I couldn't find anything under Love Juice, like, whatever she said, I couldn't find anything.
Oh my
I think
gosh.
she meant to say a different brand, but it sounded like Love Juice, so she thought it was just Love Juice. I'm not too sure. It
Uh,
was just so weird.
she's such a she's an interesting person.
My first experience with her, though, um I was having this was, like, when I first started out when Rachel was still DMing, uh, electronics. So, I had no idea what was going on, like, there was so much stress happening, everybody knew what they were doing, and I had to just watch and learn because I was just pretty much useless, like, just trying my best to pick up on what everybody's putting down.
Right.
So it was rough. There was customer after customer asking me to activate their phones and, like, just for some reason, all day I spent activating phones and adding minutes to people's phones. Like, it was absolutely insane that day. And Juanita was cherry on top, right? So she comes in and she starts asking me for, the little decorative stickers that you put on your phone. The little things that pop out of your phone, and I'm just like, not no. No. Just like I jokingly was just like, "No, not another one." You know? And she was just like she put her hand up and gave me a look of like, "Excuse me?" Like she gave me a look of like, "This rude bitch," right? And it's like
Yeah.
I get it. I did come off pretty rude because it was a stressful day, and I was like, "No." So I understand.
And this was your first
That
Juanita encounter.
that definitely is the right reaction to my no. So, what's it called? I think Rachel ends up dealing with her, right? And so she later comes back because I think well, no, she come they walk back and I had asked Rachel, "Hey, did you find what she was looking for?" And, because I thought maybe she was talking about pop sockets, so I was like, "Hey, they're over there," in case she was talking about pop sockets.
Right.
And, Juanita was like, "I don't like you."
Yeah.
She was
Oh
like,
my god.
"She doesn't wanna deal with I don't like her." It's like,
Oh
"Oh,
my god.
shit. Fuck." 'Cause, again, this is when I started off, so I didn't want anybody to hate me, but I was pretty mean. And eventually I found out she was talking about, like, Swarovski crystals that you, like it's got, like, a sticker back on it, kinda like the arts and crafts kids things.
Right.
So she wanted one for her home button on her iPhone.
Mm.
I
Yeah, I don't.
mean,
She's an interesting
she's
person. She
amazing.
has some very strange priorities.
She does.
We'll end the episode of the podcast with my first encounter with Juanita, which was just a pass by, and she didn't need to do this, but she did. I'm helping this lady select her cheese, and Juanita's like, "Hi, how are you?" And the lady doesn't say anything, and Juanita at the same volume goes, "Okay, whatever, bitch, stupid bitch." And they're
Oh
both, and
god.
Juanita's way younger than this lady. Not that Juanita is like a young person. She's like middle aged at least, like middle
Yeah.
to late aged. But this lady was really old. She probably just didn't hear her,
Yeah.
but she definitely heard her after she called her dumb bitch.
Oh
and
my
and
god.
I've never seen Juanita before. I've never interacted. No one's ever talked about her. That was my first interaction,
Oh, I love
and
her.
I busted out laughing
Yeah.
because it was so fucking funny. Because who does that? Who
No.
is like, "Hi, how are you?" "Okay, you stupid
Yeah.
bitch."
Yeah.
"Dumb bitch." Whatever. It's like
Yeah.
no one. And I was blown away. And Juanita will forever have a special place in our hearts for when we move, which we're so excited to move. And we'll talk about this shit house, and we'll talk about moving to a new house uh on maybe the next podcast,
Maybe.
depending if we remember or not. But I would like to do a podcast a week, but depending on how things go with moving and the everything else, we'll see. But
I might be fired. Most likely not, because my call-ins haven't counted because it governor says it's a
yeah,
winter
it's a
warning.
statewide emergency.
Yeah, so
But we'll see. Anyway.
we'll
Anyway,
see.
bye.
Bye. Doo-doo-doo-doo-doo.
It's not a little outro song.
Maybe.
Doo-doo-doo-doo-doo. I'd like to put in music
Doo-doo-doo.
for the intro and outro.
Doo-doo-doo.